If you're just joining us, welcome again to the 2025 Iowa City Jazz Festival here on the Strauss Community Main Stage, sponsored by Green State Credit Union. This is the second of our high school all-star groups performing to open up Saturday of the Jazz Festival. Now, if you have been here for the past few years, you may be looking at the stage and going, wow, there are a lot more musicians on there than in the past. Here's how that has evolved over the years. Pre-pandemic, we always had big bands from each of the groups of the Iowa City area and then the North Corridor area. Post-pandemic, that, like so many things, kind of shrunk back and we went to smaller combos. However, this year, as you have already seen with the United Jazz Ensemble and here with the North Corridor All-Stars, we are back to full big band strength. And we think that's worth celebrating. As I said, these are the North Corridor All-Stars, and that means that they are from schools from the northern end of our coverage area. On this stage, we have students from Linmar, Kennedy, Marion, Cedar Falls, Washington High School, Cedar Rapids, Monticello, Prairie. Did I miss anybody? Did I miss any schools? Plus one ringer from Lawrence College. We'll explain that too as the afternoon wears on. They are directed by Steve Shanley, who is the assistant professor of music at Coe College. And also director of the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band. So busy weekend for him as he's got multiple concerts this weekend. So we're very proud and pleased that this band and their director have found the time to rehearse and be a part of our jazz festival. Please welcome the North Corridor All-Stars.
Cheers for Ben from Prairie on the drum set on that one. That was Quiet Breaker by Sammy Nestico. All right, thank you all for being here and for bringing good, albeit windy weather. This next one is composed by John Ellis and is entitled Happy, and this one is sure to make you very happy. It's going to feature both of our tenor saxophone players, Jamin over here on your left from Marion High School and Alan on your far right from Monticello High School. So we hope you enjoy Happy by John Ellis. Jamin from Marion High School and Alan from Monticello High School on those tenor solos. The rest of our saxophone section, we got Joe here from Linmar on the Big Berry. We got Josie on lead alto from Cedar Falls, and we got Caden from Washington High School. Let's hear it for all of our saxophone section, please.
Right.
All right, we're going to continue on now with a piece originally composed by Hank Mobley, and it was arranged for big band by Mike Conrad, who I encourage you to stick around and watch his fabulous trio here on the main stage at 2 o'clock. That's going to be cool. They're just celebrating a new release of their album, so some tracks from that you'll be able to check out. And Mike did a great arrangement of this, and it's going to feature Carter on guitar, Jonathan on the trombone, Caden on alto, Aaron on the trombone, and Alan on the tenor. This is called Soul Station. You'll hear a little bit of piano fill from Everett out front. Carter from Linmar on the guitar. Jonathan from Prairie High School on the trombone. From Washington High School, Caden on the alto sax. Give it up for Aaron from Marion on the trombone. Josie from Monticello. Continuing on now with a piece entitled Chronometry, which is the study of time. This was written by Fred Sturm, the same person who wrote Riverscape that you heard the Iowa City group play just before us. And Fred was the longtime director of jazz bands at Lawrence Conservatory and also did some teaching at Eastman. And we here in the Midwest especially love him because he always remained true to his Midwest roots. And this one will feature our tenors again, Alan and Jamin, and then we'll also have Carter on guitar after them, and then you'll get some nice solos from Ben as well. This would be a good time for me, as we're still kind of getting our music situated, to introduce our trombone section from your left to right. You've already heard from Jonathan on the trombone from Prairie, and then Aaron from Marion High School, Kieran from Kennedy, and Dominic from Cedar Falls. Give it up for your trombone section this afternoon. All right, we hope you enjoy Fred Sturm's Chronometry. Continuing on, I'd like to introduce our trumpet section from, again, your left to right. We've got Owen from Linmar, Tom from Linmar, Liza from Kennedy, Eli from Marion, and Zizi from Washington High School. Let's hear it for all of our trumpets today. All right, next we will continue. This is from Chick Corea. This is called Early Afternoon Blues. And this one will feature Everett from Linmar on piano in the role of Chick, and Caden on alto, and Alan on the tenor. Early Afternoon Blues by Chick Corea. introduce our rhythm section from Linmar on guitar. We have Carter. From Linmar on piano, we have Everett. And from Prairie on the drum set, we've got Ben. And then very last minute jumping in, helping us out, not from any of the area high schools, is Vivian on the bass. Let's hear it for all of our rhythm section, please. All right, this next one is Cannonball Adderley's Sack of Woe, and you will hear from Josie on the alto and Tom on the trumpet. this band is so good. We only rehearsed twice. We rehearsed for a couple hours on Tuesday and for a couple hours Thursday. That was it. And even with that limited rehearsal time, I still programmed too much music. So I feel really bad. We're going to have to skip one of ours so we can meet our sharp 1 o'clock cutoff here. But just give me a round of applause for the solo on trumpet that Owen played on Thursday night. That was wonderful, that you're not unfortunately going to get to hear on Trombone Shorty's Back of Town. There were other good soloists as well, but you heard them on some other tunes. I feel bad that we're leaving Owen out of the fun. He didn't end up getting the solo on his tune. So my fault for programming too much music. Let's see. All right, so we are going to close our set with a up-tempo minor blues by Charles Mingus. This is called Ora de Cubitus, kind of loosely translated as bedtime. Oh, and this one you'll hear from Alan on the tenor and Carter on guitar, and then Ben on the drums.
The North Corridor All-Stars. And thanks to West Music for sponsoring the performance.
My name is Levi Temple, and this is my band. We are the Levi Temple Sextet. We are playing music that just came off, fresh off the press of my latest album, How We Got Here, which you can listen to anywhere in your car, and also anywhere on any streaming service. I don't know.